Flashback.
Know how to pick winners, dog. We don't. We always wind up settling for the girl we don't want to get away because we put a lot of work in with her. That's the woman we marry in America. The one you just can't stand to see the streets do what they supposed to do to her. So you just be like, man, I'm finna just go and marry her so I don't lose her.
Wow, is that what it is?
I seen it happen to the best of them. I'm not talking about dummies. Matters of the heart in America, it winds up with mental extortion, where you wind up marrying somebody you ain't got no goddamn business marrying. The worst man in America is the one who falls in love easily because he creates a family that ain't.
It's because the life that you pictured disappears and the future you actually need starts talking to you.
And the hardest part about divorce isn't heartbreak. It's letting go of the woman I performed, the version of me that I maintained, because I was scared to admit the truth. The dream I kept dragging even after it stopped fitting. And then one day you realize you're not broken. You're just finally honest, and honesty is heavy, but it's freedom.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Have you ever noticed when a modern woman tries to deflect all responsibility and not take any accountability for any of her actions or her part in the downfall of a union, she gets all reflective and hits you with that blabble blabble pseudo-scientific homeopathic nonsense. We have it in video documentation of what's really going on, and we know, and this lady was anything except a perfect bride. You dig?
This is what I'm talking about with Western women. They take absolutely no accountability for their behavior. You were the wife from hell. This is why Jeezy divorced you. He divorced you. You claim that you were putting on a front for social media. Yeah, that's true, because you were the terror behind the scenes and he just couldn't take it anymore. And he got out of that marriage just as soon as he got in it. But again, Jeannie Mai is the victim. She is the one that needs a hug. She is the one who lost herself. She is the one that abandoned herself, and she's trying to find herself at 46 years old.
I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. Saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunts, to me, right? But I didn't notice it in myself until I was with Jeezy.
Interesting. You didn't notice in your previous marriage?
No, because it has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to mirror things back to you, where you actually would stop you in your tracks and evaluate yourself, you know?
So you had it.
So I had it, but nobody ever called me out on it. I didn't notice that I had a hot temper until I got with Jeezy, and here's a person who is my equal and I really respect. And when I would spew some of my old habits, and he was like, like, who? That's not flying here. And also, it would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, who do you think you are? But I was triggering him. So through work, we learned that we both have certain habits that to the everyday person, from friends, family, fans, they'll never see it.
Jeannie Mai tried to soft launch Jeezy to jail. So she called the police on this man in Atlanta, told the man, excuse me, I'm Jeannie Mai, I'm coming down here to get my, there ain't nothing but one box of some clothes that I ain't never wore. And he got my box sitting in a garage of a house that we both bought. Okay, and it's got mouse in the boxes. It's wet, it's raining in the garage. He could have kept my stuff in the house. I don't care if he got in there, but my stuff, when I help buy this house, no, that's not how it works. So I'm gonna need y'all to come pick it up.
We are seeing her say something like she was trying to make something fit and she was lying to herself and she wasn't being real to herself. You know, now she's being herself post the divorce. She couldn't make it work, obviously absolving herself, okay? Now, why is this a big crock of BS? Number one, Jeannie Mai has been divorced. She was divorced from Fred Ortiz. He left, okay? Jeannie Mai is making it seem as if she's never been divorced before. The reality is she had no respect for her first husband. Now, the difference is at 46, she loved Jeezy more, and now she has a child, okay? And so in both situations, both men divorced her, but in her opinion, she's trying to make it seem as if she knew it was fake, it wasn't gonna last long, and now she's being true to herself.
And this is a cautionary tale to all my G's. You see, if you get what you get, it doesn't make a difference what the packaging is. Jeezy went and got him an everyday dragon woman, a modern woman, an angry woman, a woman who thought she could talk to him any old type of way. And so he left her. And she's used to being left. She's gonna come up on this line with all this blabble talking about how she lost herself, but what it really comes down to is, lady, you've been down this road before and you never fixed your deficiencies, so now you are a two-time loser, and everybody can see you can't spin your way out of this one. Damn.
How did they get all of my info?
Greetings, you polite savages. We gotta come to grips that this economy is gigajacked. And there's folks out there whose entire job is to sell, buy, and steal your information and trade it on the web like a busted bootleg stock market. It's a big game, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
And a few years ago, I was in the Philippines on a business trip. And on the last day, 2 hours before our closing dinner, I found out that my bank account was totally wiped out. I had to make emergency calls home, get Western Union wired to me so I can actually complete the transaction. And if it could happen to me, it could definitely happen to you. And that's why we partnered with Aura, the sponsor of this stream. You see, Aura searches the web for your information, actively scrubs it, sends you alerts when you've been exposed, and offers a host of different electronic devices to help you control your finances. Use the link pinned in the description for a 2-week trial. And that's long enough for you to try the service and find out exactly what they have to offer you. We don't endorse many products here at the Tip Network. We are selective indeed, but trust me, it's better to have this and stop these issues before it starts than to be stranded out there trying to figure it out in real time. Sometimes you just don't want to handle the tip, you dig?
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Jeezy sat down with Bishop T.D. Jakes for his podcast, Next Chapter, and they had a conversation in full about his life and some of the things that he's been through, but Jeezy opened up a lot about his divorce and what he learned.
Jeezy is finally exposing Jeannie Mai about the whole divorce thing, because allegedly she had put the pause on him.
What did you learn from it?
I learned I was a great husband, but I learned a lot about myself. There's things that I continue to work on. I learned about, my preferences for things, type of space that I need, type of moments that I need to decompress about certain things, unselfish nature.
He realized that it wasn't him that was the issue in the marriage, that it was maybe her who was the issue in the marriage, which coincides to something that she recently posted on her social media, in which she talked about the, veil being lifted from over her eyes and her realizing the truth of the situation.
Jeannie Mai is trying to go the same route as Tia Mai, pretty much painting to her audience that she's sad, she was the victim in the relationship, and she's trying to build somewhat of a rapport from other women who are going through this sort of thing in their life.
If you get divorced shortly after you got married, it means there were issues there that you chose to ignore, and then in the marriage it has become too big, too explosive.
When you're sharing a life with somebody, you don't become one, but this is a partnership. I've never experienced anything like that, just coming from where I came from. So I never had to share.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or I never had to compromise in a way. So I just think it taught me a lot about what compromising was like, and then things that, I can just work on as a person.
Interesting. Did you notice in your previous marriage?
No, because it has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to mirror things back to you where you actually would stop you in your tracks. And
there is no way, if you did everything you were supposed to do and vet and did correctly, there is no way reason you should be getting married after a year of marriage.
He filed for divorce because some level of disrespect that Jeannie Mai had showed in her previous relationship, according to her own words, was coming into his relationship. So now he understands that, hey, there are some things I will deal with and I will give grace to, but there are certain things I will not give grace to.
I think just going forward in life, it just taught me how to give someone else grace and actually listen to understand rather than just to listen to reply.
The reality is that Jeannie Mai is doing what all ladies who are doing that are getting divorced on social media, that have made their lives miserable, that don't want to take accountability. What are they doing? They're monetizing their audience, all right? This is another ploy to get women to get caught up in her drama because so many women feel like Jeannie Mai.
Polite savage.
You think you see come and go, huh? 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 9,999. Every single word that came out of Calvin Candy's mouth was nothing but host. But he was right about one thing. I am that one nigga 10,000.
Ladies and gentlemen of Polite Savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and fools who thought they had what they had but didn't have it alike. As always, we can only guarantee to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And sometimes the truth is a bitter pill, but you gotta shut up and take your medicine. And these truth bombs could hurt, but if you're scared, march your butt to church. So there's nothing left to do but get on up into it. Are you ready? Well, let's go.
Men get married because they don't have the information on how to protect themselves. They give in to the emotions of an irrational. That is most marriages in America, if you ask me. I could be wrong, but I don't just see a lot of guys proposing to women. I see a lot of guys giving in to women.
Wait up, hold up. As the only Vietnamese representative on this channel, I'm gonna have to say my piece, especially with the stereotypical representation of Southeast Asian women. Now, I'm gonna have to say there's an ounce of truth when it comes to stereotypes, but not everything is 1-for-1, 100% true. But on the flip side, not everything is exactly a lie either. It's not just black or white, there is something in between where a lot of the truth resides in the gray areas. There right in the middle is where you can find the true nature of the relationship between Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. Now, Polite Savages, Jeezy is the best that Jeannie Mai can do, but she came at it not valuing that relationship, acting in a disrespectful and disparaging manner, not realizing the true asset in that relationship is not her, but in a walking brand business in Jeezy's name.
If you ask women what they rank themselves, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say they're a 10. They think that they are the best option for every man that they've ever been with. Women are delusional. Because you have a kitty cat does not make you the prize.
I spoke to men of all ages, men who travel, men who stay domestic, men who do this or do that, men of higher financial echelon, and men who are entry level, just starting to make it. And one thing I find in common is that who you look for and where you find them is how they act. What do I mean? Well, if you meet a lady at a strip club in the United States, you can get on an airplane and travel all the way clear across the world, land in that new country, tropical environment. If you go to a strip club and meet your love, then you're gonna be in love with a stripper. Jeezy, a man of higher financial status and perceived value, seems to be making the same mistakes that these men make all over the world. It seems like he had to get himself out of a lurch, out of a ditch, dig himself out of a bad situation, skied up and skied out, time to get out, and bye-bye Jeannie Mai. But the funny thing is that he wasn't number 1, he was number 2, the second man to leave her. And hilariously, when she said he was abusive, all the women ran to believe her. Straight out the Modern Woman playbook. It can't be something wrong with me, it must be wrong with you. The deficiency can't be on my side, it must be with thee. And even if I admit fault, I'll cover it in a fallacy of emotional recovery and mental discovery. You dig?
It's the basic truth of the human condition that everybody lies. The only variable is about what.
This is what I'm talking about when it comes to accountability, because us as men, we have no choice but to be accountable for our behavior. But then you got women like Jeannie Mai that can put up a post. I guess she thinks the coast is clear. She could just put up this post and, you know, try to highlight the 3-year-old daughter they have together. And again, show no accountability for her behavior, the things that she has said.
She was talking about how she had an attitude, how she was combative. You know what I mean? Like she didn't know, you know, that she had a real bad attitude, you know what I mean? And disrespectful and things like that. So, you know, now you see why Jeezy filed for divorce after 2 years of marriage. You know, you can't play with everybody.
It doesn't matter how many accolades, acclaim, and fame that he's brought to his name. Jeannie Mai, an Asian woman, just like a white woman, black woman, a brown woman, will ultimately forget their place and believe that their standards and their needs and their wants and desires comes first place. And here we got a special case with Jeannie Mai, being a Vietnamese from San Jose, California, where if you don't know about the Asians on the West Coast, well, let's just say they don't exactly fit in the stereotypical role represented in traditional media. And this is most especially with the content creators of this day and age going to different countries around the parts of the world to be dating Southeast Asian ladies of different nationalities, body types, and age ranges. Somehow the color is painted in where these ladies are picture perfect without a blemish or flaw. within their characteristics. Nothing but false positives of beneficial stereotypes. The one stereotype that gets to me the most is that these ladies are subservient and submissive. Now, like I said before in the beginning of this audio, there is an ounce of truth into these Asian ladies playing that helpmate role. But when you don't put your foot down and maintain frame, and keep that money change rolling in, you're gonna see that woman's true colors and attitude bubble up right to the surface, where true colors will reveal itself, catching you off guard just like in the case with Jeezy and Jeannie Mai.
But fellas, understand y'all are delusional. That's why we don't mind lying. Because that's the only way to keep you happy. That's why if you talk to a man that's been married a long time, ask your grandfather, how does he stay married so long? He'll tell you, happy wife, happy life. Because she prioritizes happiness. Not once does that nigga keep it real with a young blood.
Because of your misguided ignorance, by believing into the hype that Asian women are somehow different from the modern woman. But the difference is that they all reside on different parts of the spectrum. They may do more with the cooking, the cleaning, and giving that good sex in the bed. But when it comes down to it, she's gonna push the boundaries, cross the lines, test you as a man, where the foundation and structure your frame, if it will withstand her disrespect and her temper tantrums. It doesn't matter if you go overseas into countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Japan, China, Laos, or whatever Asian country you decide that you want to visit. And in this case, Jeezy dating here domestically in the United States. You really haven't dated an Asian lady until you are able to test her limits and experience firsthand her combative nature when it doesn't go her way according to her plans, where the constant pressure for protection and provision and for you to be providing the finances will take shape and form in more disrespectful forms.
I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. Saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunts, to me, right?
She's just gonna do a bunch of she feels should make you happy, and if you don't act the way she hopes you would act, so what she's doing now is a problem that you're not happy about. You never asked her to do. Delusional as.
Thank you for watching the Tip Network. Follow us on all social media outlets and ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom. We're out.
We found true happiness.